What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over everything that they have released about the new Warzone Pacific map and basically just everything they've come out with. We have a trailer, we have a bunch of new information about the changes they're making to Warzone as a game mode, coming with the new map in Warzone Pacific on December 8th/9th, depending on if you played Vanguard or not. So I'm going to be covering everything today. As always, if you guys like the content, consider dropping a sub so you can come back and see more. A like and a comment to help us out with the algorithm. But let's jump into it and we will talk about all of the changes coming to Warzone as well as the new Caldera map. So the first thing I want to do is just talk about the new map and watch the trailer that they've released with the announcement of the new map. So this is Caldera. We're just going to watch this.
Explorers, adventure seekers. With all travel bans to Caldera lifted, you may now book tickets to Caldera on Pacific Horizon Air. Caldera, a hidden paradise. Enjoy awe-inspiring landscapes. Visit sites from Caldera's storied past. Survey the land from above by climbing natural rock formations.
Climbing rocks.
Explore underground caves.
We'll see about that.
River or stream. Fuel up on the artisanal organic produce harvested locally. Caldera, the Emerald of the Pacific. Free flights starting December 9th. Pacific Horizon Air is not responsible for any death, parachute-related accidents, gas-related deaths, or injury, anti-aircraft fire, tennis elbow, food poisoning, or any similar instances. Should Pacific Horizon Air become engaged in aerial combat, an early exit may be required. What are you waiting for? Book your trip today.
So yeah, that looks pretty gorgeous to me. I think it's gonna be a really fun map. Lots of interesting points of interest. We're gonna go look at the map now and go over those POIs. All right, so I've got the new Caldera map on the left. They have said that this is going to be roughly the same size as Verdansk, so overall playable area should be similar to Verdansk. We've got a bunch of different areas of the map, so Arsenal, Docks, Runway, Ruins, Mines, Peak, Beachhead, Village, Lagoon, Airfield, Field, Subpen, Power Plant, Capital, and Resort. Doug from Modern Warzone, so this is his Twitter, twitter.com/Modern Warzone. He went through and counted all the points of interest. All these orange dots on the map are points of interest. So the only one that really stands out here is the capital. So capital is N down here at the bottom, and there's 35 points of interest in that zone. So I'm guessing that's going to be the hot drop. We'll see. Arsenal could also be the hot drop. It's always fun to see how these things develop when the games first come out or when a new map first comes out, what becomes like the hot spot where people drop and how that kind of forms. So because there's so many points of interest down at capital, I think there's a chance that'll be where the initial hot drop is. But the map looks great. I'm really looking forward to playing it. Overall, can't wait to have new content and a new map to explore, because we've only had Verdansk for like a year and 9 months at this point. It's just crazy that we've only had one map. And yeah, they've made small changes here and there, and we got Rebirth Island, but overall one main BR map pretty much for a year and 9 months, which is really stale at this point. Next up, I want to briefly talk about Ricochet Anti-Cheat. So a lot of people thought that it was coming out with Vanguard and thought that it was supposed to be active for Vanguard. So as soon as there were cheaters in Vanguard, everybody was freaking out saying, oh, the anti-cheat doesn't work, the anti-cheat doesn't work. Well, they've confirmed now. Again, this is through Modern Warzone. I get a lot of my information through Modern Warzone. I'll link his Twitter down below. But basically what they said is it's going to come to Warzone Pacific first, and then it'll come to Vanguard at a later date. So it hasn't been in Vanguard yet. So that's why, hopefully, that's why cheaters have been able to, have cheats in Vanguard. But hopefully this will work. We really don't know. It's internally developed kernel level anti-cheat. Could be great, could be terrible. We'll find out. Really hope it's good, though. It'd be amazing if we don't have to deal with cheaters anymore. Obviously, that was what drove a lot of people away from the game. Honestly, I liked the game enough that I kind of just I'm just numb to cheaters at this point. Like if I get killed by a cheater, I'm just like, okay, whatever, next game. And that's terrible. It also has made me, I used to be the person that was always like, my teammates would be calling people cheaters. And I was like, there's no way people are cheating. It's not easy to cheat. There's not a chance these people are cheating. You just got killed by someone better than you. And now because there are so many cheaters, now I'm calling people cheaters all the time. And it's a really frustrating place to be, to not know if someone's actually cheating or not, because it's so easy to cheat in Warzone right now. So this would be huge for the game if Ricochet works well. So fingers crossed for that. So I'm just going to summarize all these changes that are coming to Warzone Pacific. So first up, loadout items and field upgrades. So loadouts, currently you can get a loadout at any time in the match, but in this recent Operation Flashback game mode that I just posted a gameplay video of like 2 days ago, you couldn't buy a loadout until the first loadout dropped. And that's going to be a huge change that's actually coming completely all the time to the Caldera map. So no longer can you get a loadout right away. You're gonna have to wait for the first loadout to drop, but it's been confirmed that that's gonna be the first end of the first circle. So it's not gonna be that big of a deal because the first circle happens pretty quick. It's just you can't get it immediately, and that's kind of to smooth it out and make it so people have to use ground loot for a little while rather than an immediate race to get loadout, and then whoever gets loadout first can just wipe teams. I think the idea there is by the time the first loadout drops, most teams will have enough money if they're still alive to get that loadout. It's going to create good fights around buy stations and also make it so, like what I just said, you can't just get a loadout in the first minute of the match and then go wipe all the teams that don't have loadout, because everyone's going to have a chance to get their loadout at the same time rather than just being a race to get the most money first. Another thing that's changing is lethals are going to do more damage. So they say that here most lethal equipment will do more damage. Snapshot grenades going to have a bigger radius. Stims are going to increase your movement speed slightly when you use them. Decoy grenades are actually going to shoot rubber bullets that deal a little bit of damage, which is going to probably be less annoying for the actual damage and more annoying for the flinch and the hit markers making you think you're being shot. So that might make decoys really, really good, to be completely honest. That's going to confuse people like crazy if they're actually getting hit by these things. A huge change here, dead silence is being nerfed. Obviously, dead silence is a very frustrating thing to be killed by. There's no counter to it right now, really. It's just like somebody uses it, and if they are smart about how they rotate on you, you're just going to die because you can't react to them. Stopping power is going to be completely gone. Stopping power already is very scarce in Warzone. It used to be crazy and very annoying, and it was everywhere. But now stopping power is going to be removed completely. So that's a huge change. They're looking at nerfs to the stun grenades and heartbeat sensors, and they're reducing melee damage. That's another thing. So hopefully no more 2-hit bashes for the pistols. That's the most tilting thing in the world, when somebody comes out of Gulag and just beats you down twice instantly. Another thing that's changing, actually, speaking of Gulags, just like Iron Trials. In Iron Trials, if you played that mode at all, when you won your Gulag, you'd spawn back in with the gun you had in Gulag, which was actually kind of cool. It was really hard to regain in Iron Trials because loadouts were so expensive, and if you came back with a pistol, you were just going to be screwed because you didn't have anything to do enough damage to kill somebody. So that's why they made it so you could actually spawn back in with your gun from Gulag. So I actually like that change too. I think that's going to be a really good change for the Gulag. Another fantastic change, they're finally making the gas mask animation not interrupt as many actions as before. So they say you'll be able to plate up or reload your weapon while the gas mask animation is happening. They still want to favor the players that are inside the circle safely, so that's their justification for why it's been so frustrating for so long. I mean, we've wanted this change forever. It doesn't sound like they're going to completely make it so it doesn't affect anything, but they are going to make it a little bit less annoying than it is now, which is awesome. There's also this new item, explosive canisters. It says they release a small cloud of non-toxic smoke into the atmosphere. I don't exactly know what that means, but we'll see. Just means we have a new item coming to Caldera, and we'll just have to see what that is when it comes out. Shallow waters, you're not gonna be able to swim in the Pacific map, but any shallow water, anything like that, you'll be able to walk through no problem. So you can still traverse those areas of the map. You just can't swim in any deep water. A couple other really cool things I thought about shallow water in Pacific. They say that it makes it harder to see footsteps. So even if someone's using tracker, it'll be hard to see your footsteps under the water. That makes sense because they're going to be under the water. And also, if you crouch in knee-high water, you gain the effects of cold-blooded. So you basically get another perk, and you can almost like hide from, thermals and heartbeat sensors and things like that if you're in the water, which is really, really cool. We still don't know exactly if this is going to be the same Modern Warfare engine, if we're going to keep the same perks, if we're going to get all the Vanguard perks. I don't think anyone actually knows that yet, as far as I'm aware. So I can't speak to exactly what cold-blooded is going to affect other than what it does now, and I don't know if it's going to be the same in the new integration, but we'll just have to see. But I do think it's cool that crouching in water actually gives you an extra perk. I think that's a neat little perk of the changes to the water effects. As far as contracts, it looks like there's two or three new contracts coming to the new map, which is pretty cool. One is the supply drop contract. This says it airlifts a valuable crate onto the map for anyone to pick up, but it only has its exact location revealed by the contracted squad. So if you pick up the contract, it's going to drop in somewhere. Anyone can get it, but only you know exactly where it is. Another one that I think is pretty cool, they call it a big game bounty. Basically what this is, it puts a bounty on whoever in the lobby has the most kills, and it can only happen once per game to that person. But it makes your squad go hunt whoever has the most kills in the game, which I think is a pretty fun contract. That'll be That'll be interesting, especially if you're ever the one that gets targeted by that, just to, try to survive that as people come after you. Another one says top secret contract. They kind of say some weird things here, but what I'm thinking they're trying to say with these redacted words is I think they're saying it's going to be like a random contract. You don't know what you're picking up, but when you pick it up, whatever contract you get, if you do it, you'll get extra rewards because you didn't know what you were picking up when you got it. So that's kind of cool as well. Again, they say restocks and resurgences are going to come to Caldera. I talk about this a little bit, but basically I think it's going to be a small portion of the map. It's going to be effectively treated like Rebirth Island or Rebirth Resurgence. So you'll still have that game mode from day one in Caldera, but it's going to be not on Rebirth Island anymore. It'll be somewhere on the Caldera map. Overall, it looks awesome. The map looks amazing. Very, very different than Verdansk. Obviously, it's going to be colorful and tropical rather than, cold and kind of dead like Verdansk. Totally new, beautiful map with a million new things to explore, bunch of new contracts, new weapons, bunch of changes we've been asking for forever, like stopping power, dead silence, anti-cheat, gas mask animation. Like, they've really made a lot of really, really good changes in this, and I think it could, if everything works out well, I think it could completely revitalize the game. And I'm really looking forward to playing it, grinding out all the data for you guys, getting you the best loadouts, best information I can, obviously updating true game data. We still don't know how all these guns are going to be integrated compared to the Modern Warfare and Cold War guns. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how they actually manage that. We don't know for sure if it's in the Modern Warfare engine or the new Vanguard upgraded Modern Warfare engine. We just don't know yet, but it's coming out in a week, so we'll know very, very soon, and I'll get you guys all the absolute best information that I can as that happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I appreciate all the support. We're still working on the website always and trying to get new premium features out and things like that. Yeah, I just appreciate you guys. Thank you always for the support and watching, and I will see you in the next video, which will be out sometime in the future. I don't know when that will be.